Respected dear teachers and my dear family members, today is Teachers' Day. World over, the teachers are respected, and yesterday our Prime Minister has definitely clearly told that the teaching is not a profession, but it is a mission. It is the most noble or the noblest mission that one can undertake in their life. Everyone, knowingly, unknowingly, is a student, and everyone, knowingly, unknowingly, is a teacher. The nature is the best teacher, and Swami Vivekananda has told, read the human being, that is the best poetry that you can ever read. So every human being, every plant, every animal, every system in the world, including living and non-living beings, they are all teachers to the human beings. We are learning continuously. We are continuously learning about the nature. Through botany subject, we learn the plants in the nature. Through zoology, we learn the animals in the nature. Through geology, we learn about the earth, which is the part of nature. Through history, we learn the human nature, which is the part of the nature. Through biochemistry, we learn the biochemical changes taking place in living being, which is the part of the manifestation of the nature. Through anthropology, we study the human behavior, that is the part of nature. Through sociology, we learn the group behavior of the people world over, that is the part of nature. And through the music, we learn the nature's music, from where the musical instruments could be derived, and that is part of nature. In short, through every subject, directly or indirectly, we learn from the nature. So the nature is the greatest and the noblest guru for the human beings. But right from the day number 1, Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Every process connected with the birth, every process connected with the existence, and every process connected with the death directly gives us learning about our existence. And our mother is the first guru. Equally important is our father. Equally important is the nature. So we call it as Mata, Pita, Guru, Devam. The nature as the divine power is also our guru. But for the better understanding and easier understanding and systematic understanding and a codified understanding, we depend upon the teachers teaching the human being by learned human beings. Less learned people are taught by more learned people. Then the more learned people we call as teachers. And today is the Teachers' Day, September 5th, we consider the birthday of Dr. S. Radhakrishnan as the Teachers' Day. We, the Indian Institute of Scientific Heritage, has got a CBSE approved school. We have got a Teachers Training Center. We have got Bharatiya Vidya Vihar. Similarly, Bharatiya Kala Vihar for teaching music, for teaching dance, for teaching musical instrument. We have got Bharatiya Kayika Vihar, where we teach different type of martial arts, karate, yoga and so on. We have got the Computer Teaching Center, Bhaskara Computer Center. We have got a Tailoring and Embroidery Center and so on, Spiritual Training Center. All these are all handled by different teachers. The centers are established in National Heritage Campus near Kecheri in the Thrissur Guruvayur Road in Thrissur, 14 kilometers from the Thrissur town or city. There we impart training for not only our own teachers, we impart training for outside teachers and parents and so on. While imparting training for the teachers, we always focus on the value-based education, and 45 points are given as the practical messages to be implemented in their day-to-day teaching process. In the day-to-day teaching process, the 45 points are to be incorporated. These points I shall read on the Teachers' Day, and if any one of you would like to get the printout of these 45 points, we are ready to send it to any school or any colleges or any polytechnics or ITIs or anywhere. These points appears to be very good for us, and I shall read those points. Teachers are always students, but the students are not always students. Teachers stand in between the book-based knowledge and the students. The students will like the subject. If they like the teacher handling the subject, students will follow and obey the instructions of a teacher if they like the teacher. The role of a teacher is not merely as a teacher but also as a guardian. Teachers can influence the students more than the parents can influence. Teachers should aim at making the students good through value-based education, and the teachers should aim at making the students great through imparting modern knowledge. Teachers may not remember their students always, but students will always remember the good teachers. The students have the freedom to behave and misbehave, but the teachers have the freedom only to behave and not to misbehave. Teachers can give only 1/4 of the knowledge needed for the students on any aspects. The teachers should inform the student that 2/4 of the knowledge the students have to make by themselves. The 3/4 of the knowledge the students should be informed that they should collect from others, from their colleagues, from the surroundings and from the environment. The teachers should tell the students that the last quarter of the knowledge needed for the life, for the living by the students can only be acquired during the process of marching forward through addition, deletion, modification and correction. This is what our Dharma Shastra tells. This is what Chanakya in Chanakya Niti Sara has told as Acharyat Padamadatte Padam Shishyaswamedhaya Padam Sabrahmacharibhya Shesham Kalakramena Cha. 1/4 of the knowledge a student will be getting from the teachers. 2/4 the student is expected to make by himself. And the 3/4 of the knowledge is the student should acquire from the surroundings, from their colleagues, from their co-learning students, and the last 1/4 of the knowledge can be learned only during the process of living and marching forward in the life through addition, deletion, modification and correction. This acquisition of the knowledge can be made through listening, watching, discussing and thinking. Through listening, watching, discussing and thinking. And each student should be told that they should listen the stories or watch the stories presentation. They should listen the messages, the experiences and the life truths. The role of the teacher is to collect as much information as possible and convert them into knowledge, and convert the knowledge into wisdom and use the wisdom to get the experience for themselves and to their children or students. This message the teachers should give to the students. Creating silent change is better than creating violent changes. Thus, evolutionary changes are always better than revolutionary changes. A student will always remember the painful experiences from the teachers, even though a teacher may forget about it. Students will always be helpful for a teacher, but a teacher is generally useful for a student till their exam is over. Neglect simple and silly negatives happening in the classrooms and forget about it. Never be biased or partial in taking any decision towards any student. Prove that the teacher is impartial and always unbiased. Never insult, ignore, belittle or make fun of a student. Never scold a student in front of others. Never compare the bad qualities of a student and tell others are better. Criticism should be for the correction. You can criticize the student not for denigrating but for correction and improving. All the students will not be very good, as all the teachers may also not be very good in every aspect. Students are coming from different background. They are from different family environment and academic, financial, intellectual and experiential backgrounds. The academic background, the financial background, the intellectual background and experiential background of the parents do definitely have got a bearing upon the student. The students may not be coming from the same background. So the parents' background seriously influence the behavior of the students. Inherent qualities of the students may also drag them to bad friendship. The teacher should know about it. Adolescent period is a bit risky period. Never be too much harsh or bonded with any student, particularly opposite sex. Correct the students by calling individually to the teacher's room, that too without insulting and without making any hue and cry if any student behave in a wrong manner. Every student is a living file. They have feelings and emotions. Never ignore that. Subject should be classified into about the teaching aspect. We teach our teachers of Bharatiya Vidya Vihar of Indian Institute of Scientific Heritage that the subject should be classified into modern knowledge, MK, general knowledge, GK, value-based knowledge, VK and heritage knowledge, HK. We teach the students the above only because the students cannot learn by themselves. Always the teacher should remember that a teacher is teaching the students because the students may not be getting directly the appropriate and classified knowledge. So the teacher should remember that it is her or his duty to give the correct knowledge in the correct way to the correct students in the correct manner. That is the role of the teacher. The parents cannot teach all the subject to their children. Thus, every teacher should keep in mind that the students get a standardized knowledge on each subject from the teachers in every class. Remember that you are an experienced teacher. If the teachers are listening this one to them, I am telling that a teacher becomes a teacher after taking a degree in B.Ed or M.Ed. That shows that they are systematically trained for teaching. That training, the knowledge acquired during the training should be always remembered and recollected for teaching the students in the most appropriate manner. Remember that every teacher is an experienced teacher having a degree in education and exposure in teaching systems. Each teacher is generally lucky to get frequent training and exposure to various methods, various tools, various equipments, various systems for the learning and teaching. So be a powerful and good teacher. The students do not belong to uniform background. Some of the students may be highly intelligent, some may not be so. They may be from a city, they may be from a town or from a village. The raw students are unprocessed, unrefined boys and girls from different families having different intellectual capacity and a different exposure to the world. The students should be brought to the same academic level and should be elevated from the past to the present and should be trained in such a way that they should elevate from the present to future depending upon the age group of the students. The knowledge should be given. Select different topics depending upon the age group of the students to teach general knowledge, to teach the value-based knowledge and also to teach the heritage knowledge. And it is the responsibility of the teacher to select different subjects in the different pathway for teaching GK, VK and HK, general knowledge, value-based knowledge and heritage knowledge. Remember that modern knowledge, MK will be designed based on the syllabus either by ICSE or state government or CBSE. Tough subject like science and maths may be taught to the students in the forenoon or in the morning session, and other subjects can be taught in the afternoon in the schools or in our home. Teaching is generally done in the classroom. That is one of the commonly practiced method. But in a good environment, calm atmosphere, cooperative, pleasant surroundings, we can teach them in the classroom or outside the classroom also. Teaching under the trees, hillsides, open ground, etc. is very good for learning in a relaxed mode. Every teacher should learn how to teach. This should be continuously improving process. Teaching should be a continuously improving process. As mentioned earlier, students and teachers' background are different. Teaching becomes effective when the wavelength of the teachers and the students come in the same level. Teaching should be focused more on effectiveness than efficiency. Effective teaching is the need of the hour. So effective teaching is more important than efficiency in teaching. Efficiency focuses on performance of teaching whereas effectiveness focuses on the result of teaching. Short sentences should be used while teaching. Different languages will bring beauty for teaching. Mixing a bit jokes, stories, experiences, quotations, truths, latest events, poems, songs from movies, scholars' lives, etc. will make teaching organic and lively. So never make the teaching a monotonous procedure. Mix different things, just like we make a feast. So remember that teaching should be like a feast, having many items supporting the main food. Repeating the same statement in different ways is needed. Breaking the sentences and waiting for the students to respond for completing the statement are good. Asking questions in general, commenting positively on the sincerity of the students, mentioning the qualities of the great scientists, scholars and about our nation will be very effective in between the teaching the subject. Changing subjects for a few seconds and coming back to the original can make the teaching a great experience to teachers and students. Ignoring silly mistakes of the students, avoiding all type of politics in the classroom, avoiding all type of criticisms on other teachers and students should be very, very important. The moment a teacher involves in politics or criticizing other teachers or the students, his or her name will get degraded spontaneously, which will affect the class and the school ambience also. Remember that content of teaching subjects up to the end of the second term of each academic year, up to the end of the second term, that means up to the beginning of the January in Kerala, 70% of the subject should be focused on modern knowledge, 10% can be devoted for general knowledge, 10% for value-based knowledge and 10% for heritage knowledge. In the third term, however, more focus can be given to the modern knowledge, making them prepared for getting better marks in their final examination. So modern knowledge means the textbook based knowledge which the teacher is expected to handle as per the syllabus. Repeat the subjects explained in the previous classes in a nutshell. This is more important for modern knowledge. Whatever is taught the previous day should be repeated in a nutshell so that the students will be getting the opportunity to recollect whatever was taught in the previous day. Make sure that the students understand each point. This can be done by asking questions about a different part of the same statement. The general knowledge should be connected with the modern knowledge also, so they become complementary, not an additional subject. If chemistry is taught, general knowledge can be from chemistry. If physics is taught, general knowledge can be from the physics subject, for which the teacher should prepare separately. It can be the subject based but a higher level. General knowledge can be subject based but it should be given at a higher level. Everything should be experienced or exposed to the extent possible in the Google search. Any subject will be directly available in the Google search or Wikipedia, so that the students need not go to library and spend a lot of time for getting few points for presenting to the students. Within seconds they will be getting the knowledge needed for giving the general knowledge or the subject based knowledge from the internet search services. Value based knowledge is defined as the knowledge which brings sustainable and permanent benefits for the mind of the students, for the body of the student or health of the student, for building the family relation, for building the social relation and also for building the national integration. So mind, body, family, society and nation. These 5 factors should be repeatedly informed to the students, that their mind should go from asadoma asadgamaya, tamasoma jyotirgamaya, mrityorma amritam gamaya. So mentally they should move from bad to good. Physically their health should move from bad health to or ill health to good health. The rupturing family relation should be brought back to strong family relation, and degrading social bondage should be enriched with a strengthening social bondage, and disintegrating national relationship should be built into integration of the nation and national well-being. So remember that heritage knowledge and value-based knowledge are the knowledge which we inherited from our forefathers. So heritage knowledge and value-based knowledge can be taught to them based on Indian ethos and Indian values. This include the heritage knowledge and value-based knowledge can include stories, experiences, incidents, events, messages and life truths for making the students proud of our motherland and culture. Heritage knowledge should include ancient and modern knowledge in all branches of science and technology. Depending upon the subject of each teacher, the explanation should be selected. For example, the heritage knowledge in mathematics, heritage knowledge in biochemistry, heritage knowledge in metallurgy, heritage knowledge in chemistry, physics, health science, civil engineering. Such things can be taught without any problem from Indian heritage. Explain stories from our Puranas and Mahabharata, experiences of Pandavas and Kauravas from Mahabharata and also those from Ramayana will be an excellent method for giving value-based knowledge. Teach the messages given in Vedas and Upanishads for enriching them with the messages and the truth in the life. Thousands of messages are also given in the above books, above heritage books like Mahabharata, Ramayana, Upanishads and Vedas, which should also be included in the value-based knowledge. Teach the science of as many Indian customs and rituals as possible for strengthening the mind, strengthening the body, strengthening the family relation and social bondage with national integration. Teach everything scientifically, logically and rationally so that they will be understanding the subject very much. So remember that Achinoti Chastartha Shishyan Sadayate Sudhi Swayam Acharati Chaiva Saha Acharya Iti Smrita. Whoever is learning and teaching any subject through Shastra Arthan, scientifically, logically and rationally, Shishyan Sadhayate Sudhi, teaching in the most simple, straightforward, interesting manner should be adopted. Swayam Acharati Chaiva, whatever messages are given to the students, that the teacher should first practice in their life and the parents also should practice in their life. Then only they should teach to the students. Saha Acharya Iti Smrita. That person is known as the real teacher. Acharya means not merely teacher. Acharya means mentor. Mentor means who is taking the student with them to face any problems and any crisis in the life. Mentor is the person who is with the student always, not merely teaching from the textbook, something more than that. So a teacher should remember that she or he is always a student, but a student should never, need not be always a student. I am sure that you also may be remembering the name and the behavior pattern of our teachers right from the standard number 1 Why do we remember? Because they were good to us. Many of the old teachers are very, very good. Even today they deserve respect. Many a times modern teachers, they behave like a worker or a clerk or a job-oriented preacher. Make it a point that teaching is an organic process. It should be lively. It should be done happily. It should give full satisfaction for the students who are our customers. Every school can now survive or exist only through imparting good knowledge to the good students in the good pathway, so that good result is produced and the parents are well aware about the quality changes of the students taking place in each academic institutes. The parents do compare their children with those children studying in other school. So it is not only a profession, but it is the pathway of existence also, survival in the world. So become a good teacher. Become a good teacher. Always. That can be done only by yourself. Others can only support you. They cannot make you a good teacher. You have to make yourself a good teacher. So in this Teacher's Day, my pranams to you. Always become a good, better, best teacher. Move from bad to good and from good to better and better nearer to the best. Thank you very much. My pranams to you.